Good Monday morning to all of you watching today's episode of Serving Veterans Who Served Us. So let me bring up that overlay. Sorry, my bad. Clicked a little too fast there. Bring up that overlay so that we all know we're at the right place. And here we go. So welcome to all of you who have tuned in today to join myself and my co-host Jason. He's in the back room, by the way. He's getting all prepped up. So as he's doing that, for all of you watching, by the way, if you happen to be enjoying your spring break vacation with you and yours, your spouse, your kiddos, I think Jason and I are probably a little jealous because we're not. So with that said, as you're watching and listening to this, drop your social comments and share with us where you might be. You don't have to be that exact, but at least maybe give us an idea. Are you in a warm climate? Are you in a cold climate? Are you in swimsuit or winter gear? Curious to know. So for all of you who have enjoyed our previous episode just 4 weeks back of serving veterans who served us, we thank you for coming back to consume our conversation, our content, and the information we are all about pushing to you to help you in your life event, which evolves around the sell or the buy of real estate property. I see Jason is ready, so let me welcome him into the studio. Jason.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. As ready as I can be, I guess.
Yeah, same here. Monday. A lot of our friends, neighbors are on spring break vacation. You and I are not. We're working. It is what it is. So yes, audience members, drop in your social comments. We'll live vicariously through you today as to where you may be enjoying your spring break vacation. So all of this being said, Jason, I got to ask you one question because you're the expert on this. For a lot of your friends, a lot of your clients who get your content outside of this video podcast series, they certainly get your content from your blog, right? Your real estate blog, like I did. The one thing that I was curious about, let me bring it up. The one thing I was curious about is of all of the city neighborhoods of Chicago and all of the suburbs of Chicago metropolitan area that you work your magic, that you work your business. The one thing that grabbed my attention was in the suburb of Oak Park. By the way, audience members, I used to live there. I used to own property there. I know Oak Park. Why is it that Oak Park seems to have so much activity, Jason?
I mean, Oak Park is just one of the more popular kind of suburbs of Chicagoland. It's right on the edge of Chicago. It's got great transportation.
Yeah.
It's got a good art scene, good kind of shopping, restaurant, good little downtown area. It's just really conveniently located to the highways, the airports. And there's lots of inventory, lots of nice houses. Yeah, lots of nice houses. Lots of history. Yeah, tons of history, tons of famous people from Oak Park. Going way back. I think Betty. What's the Golden Girl? What was her name? Betty White. Betty White is from there. Famous architects. There's a lot of famous architecture in the area. So it's just a very hot neighborhood. I can say personally, when I moved to Chicago from California, one of the two neighborhoods we heard about was Oak Park. The other one was Evanston. And it seems like everyone who moves to this area, everyone says, oh, look at Evanston, look at Oak Park. Those are the two. Evanston, you're going north. Oak Park, you're going out west. But Oak Park is looking good right now. We're seeing an increase in inventory for single family homes. So if that's what you're looking for, in that middle price range, it's nice to see inventory going up. So
yeah, that it's nice. It's not just nice; it's a must-have for those ready and willing buyers out there. Because if there's not enough inventory, all of those buyers are just, doing their stuff online, and of course, every 2 weeks calling you, Jason, what's new?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. And by the way, I used to also live in Evanston as well. So both of those suburbs, it's
There you go.
yeah, one is Oak Park by the lake, and the other is Oak Park, but far from the lake.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. However, I must say this: Evanston is a lot harder to get to from a commute standpoint.
Yes.
By car. Yeah.
Well, because of the university, there's more traffic in Evanston, so that's something you need to contest with. But if you work from home and you don't have to fight traffic, then you have other options. So
yeah. And if you and your family like mine, for us, the draw to both of those suburbs was the fact that it was close enough to the city, but not the city of Chicago.
And it still feels like a city. You still have you have those conveniences, but you're not actually technically a part of the Chicago city. So.
Exactly. And then for us, what was more important than all of that stuff is the fact that it was very diverse from cultural, ethnic, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah. You can always find some good food, some good art, some entertainment in those places. So.
Yeah. So before we went live, I know you shared with me, because I said, hey, you're not going on spring break vacation. You said, no, Bill, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then you shared with me that today you've got to meet, I'm guessing, a photographer to shoot pictures for a listing, right?
Yeah, and this one's it's for a active military member, a Marine who's being transferred out to California.
Wow.
So his family's moving. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
nice little video there. All right. But the suburb is it's South Chicago suburb. Joliet is the name of it. Yeah. Real nice 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath with a big basement. Nice lot, good location. So we'll be doing photographs today, even though it's raining out. And get that done and get it on the market. Hopefully by Monday at the latest.
Wow. All right. Well, don't drop here in the episode yet the address. Why? Because, well, let's be real. We want to keep that a secret. And for those of you watching,
I told you the town.
For those of you watching, we're not going to drop the address here. Why? Because the intention is we want you, and you should, call up Jason or call up your broker and just say, this broker named Jason Hinsley has got a Joliet listing coming up. I need you to call the guy to figure out where it's at so I can go look at it, right? There you go. Call me anytime. Call me, text me. Yep. I'm getting calls and texts right now, so it's fine. My phone is nonstop. I hear you. Yeah. The world that we live in, where we have to multitask with all streams of communication, right?
Yep.
All right. So now, because you're taking on this new listing, it's fresh on your mind. I'm sure you've done your what's that acronym, CMA magic, right? You figured out where to price it at. You figured out in your mind how quickly it's going to move. Here's my next question. As if I'm the seller of that Joliet property. So Jason, how do you go about choosing the best and the right buyer offer that you're going to present to me when we do a sit down together? What's your secret to that?
So we're assuming that we got multiple offers, right?
Yes, please do.
Awesome. So that means my CMA.
That is the reality these days, right?
Yeah. I mean, with limited inventory in that area, especially at this price point for this size of a house, between 400 and 460, there's no inventory. So we're fighting no one. So this house is going to go pretty quick.
Right.
And it's a new construction. The family's only been there 3 years. It's going to be a very fast sale.
Okay.
So when we do have multiple offers, what I like to do is kind of lay everything out in a grid. So, I put down what the dollar amount is. I put down how they're financing it. I just make it as simple as possible for the seller to see and compare all in a row. Some clients I'll print it out. Some clients, they want it digitally. Either way, I want it laid out nice and simple. Okay. I always encourage, when I have multiple offers, I encourage escalation clauses. I'll go back and tell people, hey, we got multiple offers. Well, guess what? Every realtor says they have multiple offers. All right.
Do they?
They all say that. So I tell people, look, call me out, do an escalation clause in Illinois. If you do an escalation clause, I got to show you the front page of the other contract I have, so that it's
really,
that I actually have to prove that I have the other offer.
Okay.
I love escalation clauses because then everybody goes up. And you'll see people putting in creative amounts. We sold one a couple of years ago for $491 and $299 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just, that's how I do it. I show them, I call all of the lenders to kind of get an idea of the buyer's status and how the lender is going to work. If I'm not familiar with that lender, I definitely want to talk to them. If it's somebody I have if it's you, then I know you're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Or somebody else I've worked with in the past, then that's fine. But we want to take all of that into consideration, and kind of give them the pros and the benefits of all of them. Somebody might come in with, say, they're coming in with a cash offer, but the cash offer is $50,000 lower than the next offer. Well, the next offer might be like an FHA loan.
True.
We got to make sure that property even qualifies for an FHA loan, So there's lots of questions, lots of things that I have to show. So the easiest way for me is just to lay it out in a grid, present it to the client, walk them through it, and then whenever they have questions, we answer those, and then they can choose which one they think is the best out of the bunch.
Are cash offers always not at asking price, maybe a little less?
It depends. I mean, when I represent a seller who's a cash buyer, when I represent a buyer who's a cash buyer, I always look at it as cash comes with a discount because it's convenient.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to get done. You don't have to do an appraisal, all that stuff. It's just cash.
Sure.
If they want to overpay a little, then you don't have to worry if maybe the property was marked a little high, things like that. It's cash gets the deal done more often than a loan does. There's less risk. So that less risk does come with a bit of a discount most of the time. So it's whatever the goals of the seller are. If the seller wants to maximize their money, then they're going to go, no matter what, they're going to go with the highest loan, even if it's problematic. There's some risk to that one. Yeah. And then I'll have to keep the others as backup offers. But if they just want to get out of the property as soon as possible, they'll probably take the cash offer because it's quicker.
Do 50% of your seller clients do this, which is you present all of that information, very transparent as I'm digesting this, crystal clear, because as if I'm your seller client, I would like it that way. One pager, simple read, whatever. Do they turn right around and say, Jason, what do you think? Do they ask you that question?
I mean, sometimes, yeah. I always tell them, obviously I have an opinion, but I don't want to muddy the waters. So I want you to tell me which one you think is best.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I will present the pros and cons of that offer that they are looking to accept. Okay. Good. So if they say, oh, we want to take this one, we like this offer. Okay, well, here's what can go wrong and here's what can go right. Right. Are you comfortable with that amount of risk? Because every deal is going to come with a certain amount of risk.
True. So. Yeah. And cash is all about speed, but cash buyers also know that, hey, because I'm bringing speed to you, let's take a little bit off the table.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. So now in the same topic, let's say you're representing a seller still, and all of a sudden, Jane Doe, real estate broker, is submitting an offer, and she's doing the escalation bit with you and your seller, and what you're filling out in your one-page grid is Jane Doe has brought a VA buyer to the table. All right, because you have your MRP designation. Here's my question. What are some of the misperceptions about a VA buyer? Now, answer this question as if you're representing, again, me as the seller.
Well, I mean, a lot of sellers have a misconception that a VA loan is harder to get through to the finish line. My finding is that it's actually easier because those guidelines are pretty set and pretty easy to get through.
Right.
So yeah, that's the first misconception. Typically, I mean, if I'm working with this client, I'm the trusted advisor, and if I tell them that's wrong, VA loans are not difficult, then they're going to believe me. You know, if they don't believe me, then I've done something wrong from the beginning, and this is not going to go well anyway. So
that's true. That's true.
So I mean, just showing them on average, you know, that VA loans process, you know, just as quickly as conventional, you know, and there's actually a few advantages too. For example, if an appraisal comes back on a conventional and it comes back too low, getting that changed is, I mean, it's impossible, right? It's been done. I've heard stories, right? But I've been through the process a few times to try to get an appraisal switched with a big bank, a medium-sized bank. It doesn't matter. Conventional, it's almost impossible. But with the VA loan, they've got something called a Tidewater, and it's actually easier to get the appraisal second looked at. Yeah, which is great. Yeah. Issues, I mean, weird things that come up, like if you've got a big property, like 5 or 6 acres, this happened one time to me a few years ago. The back corner of the property might get flooding, right? It's 3 acres away from the house. Yeah. So that might ping for conventional, and they see it in their computer that it says it's a flood area. Well, maybe we can't fund that. The VA, they'll see it, and then you can actually send it to somebody and say, no, look, here's the map. It's 3 acres away. It's fine. Right. And they'll say, okay, it's fine. So it's just easier to do certain things with the VA loan actually than it is. The only thing that's kind of a pain is doing the termite inspection. It's required almost everywhere for a VA loan, and the buyer is not allowed to pay for it. Sure. So, but there's easy workarounds for that. So
yeah. And at the end of the day, that termite inspection is, you know, it's not a big chunk of money to get that done. $100. Yeah, drop in the hat, you know, drop in the bucket. Yep. All right. So now let's shift gears, right? You now represent buyer. Are the misperceptions that maybe from your experience when you're presenting your VA buyer's offer to one of your peers, do you run into the same misperceptions, or there are some other nuances that you kind of work through?
I mean, typically when I have somebody who's eligible to use the VA home loan and they come to me as a buyer, they've read up. You know, these are military folks, so they know to read the fine print. That's how they ended up in a uniform. So read the fine print. So they usually know. But they've read maybe some of the stuff where they think maybe they're at a disadvantage in the marketplace. And I kind of explain to them the strategies that we can use to make sure that they're front and center of other offers. Right. I can take an offer and bring it to the seller's agent and say, look, I'll cover the termite inspection. My buyer can't. I can take it out. I can pay it out of pocket. If I think the deal's going to go through, what's a couple $100? I don't care. Yeah. We can figure a way out of that so that the seller doesn't have to pay it if that's something that concerns them. We can do escalation clauses just like a normal loan. And then I always make sure that whatever lender my buyer is using, that they're prepared to get on the phone quickly and talk to whatever listing agent. If the listing agent doesn't call them, I'll have the lender call the listing agent.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah. Just to clear up any confusion, lack of experience. That's usually what I kind of perceive initially. And then let's not forget, I mean, for those VA buyers, the big driver behind you is that you qualify, you benefit from a VA loan because you served and protected the rest of us for our freedoms. And in the back pocket, in your back pocket, if you decide maybe for this one transaction, I choose not to do a VA loan on it, you have your fallback position of either FHA and or conventional. So choices are good, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So the other good thing about the VA loan, because we're not paying PMI and we're not, and we have the option to not put a down payment.
Yeah.
You know, the veteran a lot of times, or the veteran or the service member is coming with more money in the bank account anyway. So maybe they can offer a little bit more and pay a little bit of a premium to get over the finish line. Yeah. And that's why I like those escalation clauses, because then you can say, yeah, I'll give you full price, but if there's somebody else out there who's going to pay 20 more, I'll pay 20 more plus 5.
Yeah. So but you got to show me the deal, right? As you do.
Exactly.
Show me the deal.
Don't blow smoke and tell me you have offers. I mean, that's happened where I've submitted and they say, oh, we got a lot of other offers. Okay. So I'll submit it with the escalation clause and they'll come back, oh, we accepted your offer. And I'm like, oh, at what price point? And they're like, oh, at list. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were like, hey, let me in the game of poker, I'm calling your cards out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you didn't have any other offers. Okay.
Love that. For our last part of our episode today, I'm gonna do a little bit of true or false with you. How's that? True or false game.
Okay.
Easy stuff. All right.
I'll probably blow this.
And by the way, there's no wrong answer because there's a ton of answers. It's called, you do a search on the internet, you'll get a lot of answers. So here goes.
True.
True or false? This is one of the top 5 civilian professions that a veteran usually will move into. Information technology profession. Yes, true or false?
Oh, true.
Yeah, right on, brother. Right on. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Another profession, civilian profession. First responders. Let me include all of them, or as much as I can insert. Police person, fire person, medic, nurse, medical assistant. True or false?
Yeah, that's true.
True. Hey, right on, brother. And then last one. Very obvious civilian profession is because they served to protect us and our freedom. They served again, local government, state government, federal government. True or false?
Wait, what was? Say it again.
Because they served to protect us. Civilian, the new profession. It's either local government, state government, or federal government. True or false?
You're including the post office, right?
Yes.
That's true then. Yeah. I know the post office is the biggest employer of veterans. So
they are. Yeah. So right on, brother. And for those of you watching, if you might have someone within your circle of friends, your own immediate family, extended family, who are in a civilian profession that we didn't cover in this episode today, would love your feedback. Drop your social comment, your posts. You might just enlighten Jason and I with a profession that we didn't think about. So that's it for today, Jason. Thank you for sharing your time. For all of you watching us today, if you are in need of starting a conversation with Jason and or myself, given your life event of selling or buying, or at the same time doing it together, sell and buy real estate, all you have to do is scan the QR codes that you see here, and Jason and I are ready, willing, and able to start a conversation with you, whether it be a phone call, a text, or any other way. Jason, good luck with doing those pictures at your listing today. Again,
yeah, hopefully there's not too much rain.
That's right. That's right. And again, we're not going to share the address, but it's somewhere in Joliet.
Yep, coming up soon.
All right, brother. See you in the next episode. For all of you watching us today, see you again in the next episode. Talk soon.
All right.